My name is Mike. I'm a 30-year-old run-of-the-mill businessman. My wife Rita and I got married 6 years ago after a great love affair. But 2 years after we got married, I found out I had male infertility. I've always wanted to have children, even before we were married. It was the cruelest sentence I could have ever received. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a child.
Don't worry about it. The doctor said that there is still a possibility of having a child, even with the infertility treatment. The chances are not zero.
Are you going to stay with me for my infertility treatment? But you'll also have to go through the hardships too.
I would give anything to have your child. I'm willing to go to any lengths to have your child. So don't worry. I'm going to give birth to a healthy child someday.
Thank you, Rita. From that day on, Rita and I began painful infertility treatments. During the 3 years of infertility treatment, we underwent 5 cycles of artificial inseminations, 3 in vitro fertilizations, and 1 intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Although we also underwent microscopic fertilization, none of the treatments resulted in pregnancy. After 10 years of infertility treatment, we had no results. We ran out of money and decided to give up on having a child. I'm so sorry, Rita, even though you worked so hard.
There's nothing we can do. The chances of getting pregnant through artificial insemination is only 10 to 20%. This time, it was just bad luck. Let's save some money and try again.
Yeah. Rita is 4 years older than me, and in a few more years, it will become even harder to have a child due to age. Infertility treatment could end at any moment, or even succeed. There's no guarantee. Is it okay to keep Rita bound to me like this? Hey, I have a proposal for you, Rita.
A proposal? What is it?
Well, how about we get a divorce?
What? What are you talking about suddenly?
You're a beauty, and I'm sure you'll find a replacement for me soon. You won't be happy anymore with me, so let's break up and find yourself a new life with another man.
Huh? Don't be silly. Are you serious? I didn't marry you because I wanted children. I married you because I love you. And you too as well, right?
Of course. I love you more than anyone.
But you know the reason I went into fertility treatment was because you wanted it. But if it causes you even more suffering, I don't want a child anymore, so don't talk about breaking up.
Rita, I'm sorry. I was being foolish. I lost sight of the most important thing because I was losing to the pressure of not being able to have a child.
You understand now, Mike?
Yeah, don't worry about infertility anymore. I'll do my best to think about living happily with you.
Yes, let's be happy together. That way, we don't have time to feel lonely, even if we don't have a child.
And so, for 1 year, we didn't have to go to the hospital for infertility treatment, and we tried to spend all our free time together as a couple. We made an effort. The time spent alone with Rita was very peaceful. I felt this way, and naturally, I believed Rita felt the same way I did. I believed that. It wasn't until I realized that Rita's words at the time were just excuses to deceive me. That was on a clear day in the afternoon. That day, I was visiting a town 2 stations away from my company for some work in the field. After my morning work was finally over, I decided to take a break at a cafe near the station. When I entered the shop, it was bustling with lunch customers, and the waitress guided me to the second seat from the back along the wall. It was around lunchtime, and it was too noisy. This was not a good time to take a break.
Your order?
Well, I'll have this ham and egg sandwich, and an iced coffee instead of hot.
Yes, okay.
What an impolite waitress. How could they run a successful business hiring someone like that?
Seriously? For real, it's super funny, isn't it?
Shut up. What a loud voice. It's bothering the other customers. A loud voice and a fool's laughter. Apparently sitting next to me was a lovey-dovey couple. They're hidden behind a partition, so I couldn't see their faces, but they're probably a bunch of low IQ, low-class people. I thought about giving them a stern warning, but if I got upset and ruined my nice meal, it would have been my loss. I might just give them a warning on the way out. But your husband is also a pitiful guy, you know. He can't have kids, and on top of that, he has a wife like this, with a bad personality.
Excuse me? You're saying I have a bad personality? I'm just trying to be there for someone who's such a failure. At least I could still consider him as an ATM, or it wouldn't be worth it.
So, you're spending your husband's hard-earned money? It's fine to be flashy, but be careful that your husband doesn't find out about it.
What? Thanks to my contributions, you're able to live a good life. I was a customer before I became your girlfriend, so show a little more respect, okay?
No, I didn't mean to say anything bad about you. It's just that it's funny to see your husband think he's loved by his wife, even though he can't even have a child. I'm sorry I gave you the wrong idea, Rita. Huh? The man did indeed call the woman he was talking to Rita. It's a common name, but I kept listening. Her voice sounded very familiar. Through the partition, I could hear my beloved wife's, Rita's voice, like a low-class idiot calling her husband an ATM.
By the way, I haven't had my period this month.
What do you mean you haven't had it?
I mean my period. Maybe I'm pregnant.
Pregnant with your husband's child? That's impossible, right?
Of course it's impossible. Mike can't have children, but if I were pregnant, it would definitely be our child. I told you to keep it outside me, but you let it in.
But it feels good to do it inside. What are you going to do with the kid?
It's settled that it's a lost cause then. No matter how easily Mike can be flattered, he'll certainly divorce me if I get pregnant with another man's child.
Yeah, that's true, but this is already the third time. I'm used to it.
Don't talk nonsense. I have a lot to handle over here. I have to make a fake consent form and go to a faraway place so that my husband won't find out.
Well, I'll make it up to you when you come to the store and in the bedroom.
Really? It's a promise then.
Pregnancy. I'll get rid of it for the third time. She aborted a child without telling me. She knows how much I want a child. I can't forgive her. I absolutely can't forgive her. I was shocked that my wife, whom I loved, had betrayed me. With a confused mind, I tried my best to figure out how to punish Rita and her lover. Of course, I'll divorce her, and I'll make it my responsibility to get back the money Rita gave to that airheaded idiot, not to mention the alimony I'll be asking for. But that alone won't make up for the humiliation I experienced. This anger can't be quenched with just a few $1,000s. I must thoroughly make them suffer for their betrayal. That day, I went home and immediately went to my room. I've read up on past cases, and according to similar court cases as mine, the amount of damages awarded was about $20,000. Since the fetus is interpreted as a part of the mother's body, she can't be charged for murder. In other words, even if I reported it to the police, the only crimes Rita and Jack will be charged with are either 1 year or less in prison, or a fine of $10,000 or less for the document forgery. Of course, such a thing won't make the bitterness in my heart go away. I thought about what kind of punishment would be appropriate for them, and came up with the worst conclusion I could have imagined. That is, to kill them. By that time, I must have already gone crazy. On that day, I lied to Rita about work and took the day off. I told my supervisor I was feeling ill on short notice. I had always been a perfect attendance student, and it was my first time I had taken a day off work since being a student. It was a feeling of excitement I couldn't put into words, like when I stayed up late at night as a kid and hid from my parents. When I opened the door to my living room, there was Rita and Jack naked in the midst of lovemaking. When I saw the adulterous scene in front of me, I thought I would lose myself even more in anger, but strangely, I remained calm as always, with the exception of the golf club I was holding in my right hand to take Rita and Jack's lives.
Mike, why are you here?
What are you going to do with that golf club? Don't tell me you're going to hit us with that. What would you do?
Please, stop. I'm sorry for having an affair. Please don't hit us.
You think I'm going to do something stupid like this over an affair? You guys think I don't know anything about it. I know what you're thinking. Unfortunately, I know all about it, including the fact that you got pregnant by that man, and have lost multiple children.
How the hell do you know? I thought I had destroyed all copies of the consent forms.
You've let it all slip out. Isn't that the same as admitting to your wrongdoings? Well, for me, it's faster this way. I'm ready to face the consequences. No, this guy's crazy. He's got his eyes set on us. He really intends to kill us. If we don't run away now, we're really going to get it. Where do you think you're going? That's the balcony. Are you kidding? Do you really think you can jump off the 5th floor and escape safely? Shut up. Come on, come over here. Rita and Jack were so confused that they ignored my advice and without hesitation ran to the balcony. Once they reached the balcony, they were like trapped mice in a bag, shaking in fear between the outdoor air conditioner unit and the balcony fencing. They were trembling and shaking with fear. Moreover, that day, as if to express my state of mind, it was raining heavily. Come down. I don't want to push you off from there. Come here and let's talk. Then drop that golf club. That's what should come first.
Please, calm down. What's the point of killing us?
There's no point. I just want to feel relieved. Lives lost can't be regained no matter what. Isn't this guy crazy? What's inside her is not your child. It's mine. Whether I want to save or kill my child is my own business, isn't it? Those words are an insult to me. Do you have any idea how I've been feeling while undergoing infertility treatments all this time?
If it's fertility treatment, let's do it all over again. If you don't give up, you can have a child someday.
I don't want any children with you anymore. Worry about yourselves now. Gripping the golf club in my right hand even tighter, I was getting closer and closer to Rita and Jack. To be honest, at that time, I was really planning to swing that golf club at Rita and that devil-faced man. But what happened next, I didn't see it coming at all. Rita slipped on the wet floor and grabbed Jack's arm in panic. Jack was on top of the outdoor air conditioning unit and was thrown off balance by Rita's fall. The two let out a scream of different pitches, as though in a duet. The noise seemed to echo in the sky, and in the next moment, Rita and Jack disappeared from my sight. Then, after a short pause, what followed was a dull sound like the sound of a watermelon cracking, and a short scream, like that of a trampled toad. They died instantly. I looked at the asphalt directly below from the 5th floor balcony, and at the chunks of flesh clinging to the asphalt below, I laughed. Afterwards, I was interviewed by the police, but I was consistent from the beginning to the end, and denied any intention to kill Rita and Jack. Of course, that was a lie. I'm not saying I didn't have a direct hand in it. It's true. In the end, it was determined that Rita and Jack's fall and deaths were accidents, and I was not punished. That was good. I'm sure Rita and her devil man are in the afterlife now. They'll soon be a ball of dust. Now my revenge was over. I feel a little clearer, but to be honest, my mind is a blur. There was still something left. Inside Rita's belly was a child. Not my child, but still precious nonetheless. It was an irreplaceable life. Not that I had anything to do with it. If they hadn't fallen off the balcony on their own, I would have had that child in my hands. That's why I never want to have children again. That became my atonement for the deceased fetus. A few days ago, I started dating a woman who has the same worries as me. She has a congenital illness and couldn't produce any eggs, so there is no hope for any of us to have children. Since I started dating her, I don't feel the same intense desire to have children like before, and I am now very relaxed. I wonder if I had given up on children earlier, would I still be passing the days living peacefully with Rita? It's too late to think about such things now, I understand that, but every now and then, I still get overwhelmed with feelings when I think about those times. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy it? We look forward to your next viewing. Please subscribe to our channel.